My name is Alessandro and I'm the application engineer for Wearable Sensor Products at Xsens. Now I will be teaching you everything you need to know to start developing your own application with Xsens DOT. Xsens DOT app is a part of the software package for Xsens DOT. It's a free-to-download application available for both iOS and Android that allows you to record data in both real-time streaming mode and onboard recording mode. You can download it on the Google Store or Apple Store. Now I will be showing you how the app works. To turn on the sensors, plug the USB cable connected to a power supply. As soon as you launch the app, it will automatically scan for Xsens DOT sensors. At this stage, it is important that you do not try to pair the sensors in the Bluetooth settings as you would normally do with a pair of headsets. Just power it on out of the box and they should be detected. By dragging down the interface, you will start a new scan. To ensure that the sensors are detected, make sure that the sensors are blinking, close enough to the phone and not in power save mode. Toggle on the sensors to connect it to the device. Once the sensor is connected, you will be able to see the MAC address and battery status. If you then click on the sensor, you will be able to see firmware version and assign a name tag to your Xsens DOT. What's more, by pressing the Identify button, the sensor will blink very quickly. This is helpful if you want to visually check which sensor you have just connected. Finally, you can power off the tracker by pressing this button, or you can press and hold the central button on the sensor for about 3 seconds. Once your sensors are connected, click on Measure and Collect to start your recording. Here you can choose between real-time streaming mode, which will stream data to your phone in real time, or recording mode, which will store data within the sensor flash memory. Let's take a look at the real-time streaming first. By default, all sensors will be checked for recording. Click on Confirm and then Start. Here you can choose between different measurement modes. A measurement mode is just a different combination of data. Sensor fusion mode includes orientation and free acceleration, whereas inertial data mode includes acceleration, angular velocity, and magnetic field. In custom modes, you will find different combinations of these data. Let me explain what each data type means. Starting from sensor fusion mode, at the top right corner you can see the payload, which is the size in byte of the data that you're streaming. It is recommended to keep this number as low as you possibly can. Orientation represents the orientation of the sensor with respect to the local reference frame, defined by east, north, up. This can be available in Euler angles expressed in Z, Y, X sequence and quaternion. Notice that the plots in the app will always be shown in Euler angles as for easier interpretation. Free acceleration is the acceleration vector expressed in the local reference frame with the gravity component being subtracted from it. It will detect acceleration regardless of the sensor orientation. Status byte gives information about sensor clipping, meaning when the acceleration or angular velocity of a movement exceeds the threshold of the sensing element, or when the magnetic field norm exceeds a certain value. Back to inertial data. Acceleration and angular velocity are data coming from accelerometer and gyroscope. Among all different formats, I recommend using high-fidelity data, which is proprietary of Xsens and will ensure the highest quality information even in case of transient data loss. Magnetic field measures the magnetic field around the sensor along the 3 axes. Custom modes include some different combinations of the data which we have seen before. Once you have selected your measurement mode, you're ready for recording. The synchronization toggle switch can let you decide whether the sensors will be synchronized to a common time base, but it will take about 8 seconds to start recording. When data logging is enabled, a CSV file will be stored within your device at the directory shown here. Let's click on Apply and start the recording. When the recording starts, you will see the graphs showing the data you chose. In the top left corner, you can see the name tag of your device and the measurement mode chosen. You can swipe left or right to display information from different sensors. At this stage, you have the option to perform a heading reset to realign the heading if needed. If you have multiple sensors connected, it is recommended doing so when you are sure all sensors are pointing exactly in the same direction. Click on Stop to stop your recording. One CSV file for each sensor will be stored in the directory shown below. Now, let's take a look at the recording mode. Click on Recording and then Confirm. By default, all connected sensors will be checked. In this interface, you can see all sensors that are ready for recording, the percentage of memory space and recording time in minutes. You have the option to clear the memory for each sensor individually or all at once by pressing Clear All. On the right corner, you have the option to set a timer for your recording by pressing the clock button. Additionally, on the right, you can export the recorded data, which we'll see later. When ready, click on Start Recording to start recording. Here you can choose whether you want to apply the synchronization feature. Once again, by doing so, all sensors will be synchronized to a common time base, but it will take 8 seconds to start recording. If everything is successful, all sensors will start recording and you will see the in progress status and the recording time. When in recording mode, the sensors will start a blinking pattern of 4 blinks per second. Note that after this point, it is not necessary to maintain Bluetooth connection between the sensor and the phone, since all data will be stored inside the sensor memory. To stop recording, you can click the Stop Recording button on the app, although the Stop Recording trigger requires all sensors to be in range when pressing the button. Alternatively, you can manually stop the recording by pressing the central button for about a second. Now that we have concluded our first recording, let's export our data. Back onto the recording interface and click on the Export button in the top right corner. Here you will be able to see all sensors connected. First, press the cog-like button in the top right corner to set up the export file. Here you can choose as many output as you like. Click on Save as Default to store the settings for future uses and then confirm. Now click on the selected files for each sensor to access the sensor memory. The data files are sorted by showing first the most recent recordings. By default, the latest file will be selected for export. To add or remove files, check or uncheck the corresponding box. Once you're all set, click on Export to begin the export procedure. The export time will vary depending on the size of your recording. Once the export is finished, a CSV file for each sensor will be generated in the folder shown below, similarly to the real-time streaming mode. To conclude this tutorial, I will show you some advanced settings. Click on the Advanced tab and then Settings. In Power Save options, you can change the threshold when the sensor will enter Power Save mode. By default, this is set 10 minutes in advertisement mode and 30 minutes in connection mode. Serial number will show the serial number of your sensor. This can be helpful in case you need to contact our technical support team. Clear cache will clear the cache memory of your phone. I hope this was helpful. If you want to know more about Xsens DOT and get access to all our downloads, visit xsens.com/xsensdot.